So tell me more about what else did you do to grow your business?
Oh,
So you started out handing out cards,
handing out
and
cards.
then what did that progress into?
That honestly, handing out cards didn't progress into much, but it was a start. It got my feet in the water, and I wasn't as scared to like talk to people, talk about my business. And then working here, honestly, just taking the advice that you gave me has helped a lot. And it was crazy because you were like, do half off on everything. Just discount everything. And I'm like, looking like, what? No, I'm a professional. I'm licensed. Like, what are you talking about? But at that point in time, I was thinking about the dollar amount and I wasn't thinking about the longevity of my career or where I was going with it. And
Yeah.
by doing that, I met a lot of great people. It got my name out there really quickly. No, I didn't make any money, but that's okay. I wasn't expecting to make money in my first year. I was just really expecting to build clientele, to just keep being passionate and being hungry. Because since I didn't have a lot of clientele, it's like, all right, let's be hungry. Let's find other ways to get people in this door.
Yeah.
You got to keep going.
So the reason I gave you that advice in the beginning was because I did see you hustling. I saw you on social media. I knew you were going to give out people cards. But I also know when it comes to marketing, you can do things like Groupon or things like that will help you get business in now, or you can just do your own deal like that. And that's why I give out. And a lot of people, especially estheticians and massage therapists, especially in my industry, they always think about what am I getting right now, and they don't pay attention to the long-term value of a client. So if I can get somebody in for 50% off today,
Right.
what are you charging for an hour facial?
So I do an hour and a half because I like to take my time. So my basics start at 75.
For an hour and a half. So if I did an hour and a half facial for $37.50, is that right? Math. Anyways,
Yeah.
details.
Right.
I made $37.50 that hour instead of nothing.
Exactly.
Right. So that's my thought when I tell people to do that. Is if I'm starting from nothing, this is what I would do. I would give out 50% off just so I can get my hands on people, because I'm confident that once I get my hands on them, I can get them to come back.
Exactly.
You know, maybe I wasn't in the beginning when I first started, but now if I started over now, knowing what I know, this is what I would do.
Okay.
You know, because then it takes away the thoughts that people have about coming in. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be worth the money? You know, there's a lot of fears that people have that are the reasons that they're not buying, and it's not usually price. But when you discount the price, it makes it so they're like, whatever. Even if that does happen, it's only $37.50. You know,
I've had someone tell me that because I did the Groupon thing. Like when even you give me advice, I try to apply it the best way that I can that works for me. Even a client told me that, yeah, I like going on Groupon to search for new technicians just in case I didn't like the service. I don't feel bad that I didn't pay full price.
Because that's exactly what happens. People are so tired of paying full price for service, for one, customer service that's trash, and then the actual service that they're paying for that is not what they expected.
Exactly.
And so that's why they end up doing those type of things. But a lot of technicians, therapists, estheticians, they treat Groupon customers or discount shoppers.
Yeah.
You know? And I believe I told you don't ever treat somebody
And
like
I
that.
don't. And you know what? I had 2 Groupon customers come in from New York and they were visiting. And she was like, you know what? I've never gotten a Groupon facial like this. They usually are quick and short with everything. You literally took your time as what shows on your website and still gave us information to take home with. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I don't care that I'm doing it for a discounted price. I'm just trying to get my hands on people and get to as many people as possible. I know the money's going to come. And with them, even though they bought a Groupon, I was able to get them good retail products on skincare that they can take back home. So at the end of the day, I still made some type of money, but I made a great impression. That was more important to me than making a dollar amount.
Because then if you do good like that,
Yeah.
they're going to tell people.
Exactly.
And if you don't, they're going to tell people that you suck.
Yeah, for real. They definitely
And let me
will.
tell you, when you suck, they tell a lot more people.
Exactly.
Don't ever go there, you know? When you're really good, they tell like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So you got to be good so you can get to that 2 or 3. Otherwise, they're going to get you to 25 on the opposite. Like, that's what I tell people. I'm like, they're much more willing to tell people that you were trash than if you were good. So you have to be good.
You have to. and you have to constantly be wanting to work on your craft and perfect it. Like sometimes even when I'm not in the spa, I'm at home doing research so that I can study, so that I can be better for the next day. It's always something you can improve on. Yeah. And I feel like if you have that mindset, you're never going to get bored in a sense, or you're going to always be hungry because you're like, dang, I didn't know that. Like I just learned something 2 days ago about acne that I thought I knew, but I didn't really know. Yeah. And I'm like, now I need to do all this extra research because I didn't know enough.
Mm-hmm. You'll never know enough.
Man, what? Yeah, for real.
So much information out there. So one of the things I like about you is your amazing attitude. You have an awesome energy.
Thank you.
And I mean, even if you're not happy, you always seem happy.
Yeah.
You know, you have an amazing smile, and walking through here, everybody loves you.
Yeah.
How important do you think attitude is to your success, to success in general?
I think attitude is very, very important because you are the representation of your success. If you have a poor attitude, your success is going to be poor. If you're indecisive about your capabilities, everything you do is going to show how undecisive you are, or how you're not confident in yourself. Like you have to, first and foremost, like I tell my kids, I like in my mentorship classes, mm-hmm. I tell them, you're your biggest fan. You have to be confident in you first before anyone else can believe it. Because if anyone else believes it, that's just an extra bonus. You need to give it to yourself every day before someone else tells you. Because even when people tell you, you're like, yeah, whatever, because you don't believe it.
Right.
You got to believe it. Like, nah, I'm great. I'm going to be great.
So do you think your attitude was something that you learned, or is it something you were born with?
I feel like it's both. I feel like I initially always had it within me, but I didn't know how to exercise it in the best way. Mm-hmm. So as I got older, and even like my first boss, oh my gosh, I had an attitude problem. Like I just would want to go off. Same. And the crazy thing is, his name is Michael. So when he gave me a job, right? So he gave me a job, and I was just a hothead. I was like 16, didn't know anything, thought I knew everything. And every time I would get upset, he would like put me in a predicament where I had two choices. I could either fix my attitude or I could lash out, and then I lose my job because I lash out. So he saw that I had capabilities and I was passionate, and he was like, I gotta test you, like I gotta push you. And
you think he was conscious in that, or he was just a dick?
No, I think he was conscious, because he was always like cool. Like if I needed anything or just work related, he was always there. But he knew like how my attitude was, and I knew it. I knew it was poor, and he would just poke and poke and poke. And I'm glad he did, because that really showed me like, whoa, I don't need to blow up or be so extreme for every situation.
Dude, I was the same way. You sound like me. I was the same way.
Yeah.
Like, my attitude affected every single one of my jobs and me moving up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the switch for this too. Actually, it had to happen a couple of times, because I had a bad attitude, then went to a good one and moved up. And then at the next job, I had a bad attitude and then switched up. So my first one was, I worked at Tommy Hilfiger. Everybody in there had a bad attitude.
Mm-hmm.
This is like so important, because dude, if you have a bad attitude and you blow up or you lash out or somebody makes you mad and you cuss them out at work and stuff, like you're not going to move up in the company and you're not going to succeed.
This is very true.
Like, and everybody that worked there had a bad attitude. They were stealing. I wasn't stealing, but everybody was stealing. And they hated working there. And that you can only push that off for so long before it starts to creep in and affect you.
Yes.
Because I've always been like a kind of happy-go-lucky person. But I got in arguments with my boss. She tried to tell me something. I was like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, for real.
You know? And I almost got fired because of that. But we ended up getting a new manager. Mm-hmm. And she literally came by, like on one of the first days she was there. And she stopped. She like turned me over. She goes, you know, if you have a really nice smile. She's like, you should use it more often.
What?
I was like, I couldn't help but smile when she told me that. I was like, you know,
yeah, I know.
I'm trying not to smile, and I'm like, I can't help it, you know?
Exactly.
And it was her who made the switch in the place. She started getting rid of all the bad apples, the people who were stealing. She caught them and got rid of them immediately. Mm-hmm. We ended up having a whole new crew with a few of, like me, a couple people who were there from before. Yeah. And the whole place changed. you know. And so I ended up moving up to lead cashier, making more money, having more responsibility.
Yeah.
And then I left there and went to I was a lifeguard. And again, still a happy-go-lucky, hard-working dude. Like,
Right.
I've always been a hard worker no matter where. Even though I have a bad attitude, always been a hard worker.
Same.
Ended up cussing out one of my bosses because she told me something I'm not proud of it, but I called her. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to say it. But it isn't a cuss word. It's just a bad word.
Yeah.
And I ended up not getting a position because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't get along with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was in a management position, and I was heated. But then, again, ended up changing my attitude there and ended up moving up.
Mm-hmm.
I did quit 2 weeks later, but
Hey.
to come do a massage. But I made sure in my massage job to never let other people's bad attitudes affect me again.
True.
And that's when I started reading and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started reading, it's crazy.